What is undercutting? Let's talk about it. Undercutting is something that can happen during the exposure process of making your Ikonart stencils. So this is when light sneaks under the edges of your artwork, and therefore your final stencil will be a little bit smaller than your artwork. So this isn't very noticeable on like big, thick areas of art, or if you have a really super thick font, you're not gonna notice if that final stencil is a little bit smaller than your artwork. You're not gonna notice that on your stencil. But if you have a really thin font or a skinny font or a lot of details or a lot of distressing on your stencil and you get undercutting, you will notice that on your stencil. It can cause your lines or your details to disappear altogether when washing out your stencils. So here's some things you can do to avoid undercutting. First of all, you want to make sure your artwork prints nice and dark. This is always important when making Ikonart stencils, but it's especially important for high details. When exposing your stencil film, you want to make sure there's a really good seal between your artwork and your stencil film. This is one of the reasons why we include the clear cover sheet in every single stencil pack. So you're just going to lay down your stencil film, lay the artwork on top, and then put that clear cover sheet over the top of your artwork, and then really rub down. This is creating that really good seal between your artwork and your stencil film. This is especially critical if you find that your artwork has a little bit of curl to it and it's not laying exactly flat on your stencil film. Just make sure you're using that cover sheet and you're rubbing down really well before exposure. One question we get asked a lot is, should I mirror my artwork? What happens when you mirror your artwork is that then during the exposure process, you're able to have the ink side of your printed artwork touch the stencil film. So it just gives it that really good contact. Again, this is going to be most important when you have those fine lines or fine details in your artwork. So in order to avoid undercutting, you just want to make sure your artwork is printing nice and dark, and then during the exposure process, make sure to rub down that cover sheet. And that's really going to help, especially with your high detailed designs.